If time zones were divided evenly, which they're not, because they're divided politically, culturally, they'd be 15 degrees wide. If you do the math, 15 degrees times 24 time zones gets you 360 degrees. Now, you may have noticed, if you look at a globe, that the lines of longitude that separate out, as you get near the poles, they come closer together. Ooh. So you don't have to travel as far to go from one time zone to the next, because they get narrower and narrower. As you get near the North Pole, all lines converge to one point. So the question is, what time is it on the North Pole?
No time or all time, right?
That's as good an answer as any.
Nice.
It is all time on the North Pole. The periodic table of elements is complete. There are no gaps. And there were gaps in it up until as late as the 1950s. One of the last elements to be discovered was technetium, named tech. You know what the definition of tech is? Human-made.
Wow.
That's why technology is we made it, it's not in nature. Tech means artificial, human-made. That element doesn't exist in nature, so we created it. Nature makes elements up to 94. We have created elements beyond that up to 118. So yeah, there's gaps above 118, but not in the main table that you saw hanging in the front of your chemistry class.
The number is the amount of protons in the
number of protons, correct.
So it's like we have one with 8, we have one with 10, but we can't find the one with 9.
Right,
so
so
we
then
know
we
it's
find
out
the one
there.
with 9 and
That's how you have gaps.
That's how you know that there's a gap. It's a discrete number of protons in the nucleus of these atoms. You know what an egg is?
A cell.
No, I was going to be more metaphorical.
Oh, what's an egg? What's an egg?
This is not a biology class here.
I'm sorry.
An egg is a spacesuit for the unborn organism so it can survive in an environment that would otherwise kill it.
Yeah, it is.
Until it can survive, then it no longer needs the spacesuit. The chicken is inside the egg because the outer environment can't live in that environment. So it stays in there until it's ready, then it pops out and it can lead the ship. If Van Gogh did not paint The Starry Night, or if Beethoven didn't compose the Ninth Symphony, no one ever born after them is going to do that. Whereas if Einstein wasn't born, somebody or some combination of people would have eventually found relativity.
Is it true that you get more wet when running in the rain than if you walk?
So that's a fun question.
Yeah.
And I've thought about that my entire life. If you walk in the rain, the only part of you that's getting wet is the part that's falling directly on top of you. So your shoulders and the top of your head. So you get that area and you look at the raindrops per minute that's hitting that area and how fast you're walking across the street. You can calculate that and get a total number of raindrops that you hit if you go slowly. Now, if you run, rain is still going to hit you on your head and shoulders, but for not as long.
Right.
But now you have your entire surface area of the front of your body that's running into falling raindrops.
Right.
People say the sun is yellow. No, it's not. It's white. If the sun were yellow, just think this through. If the sun were yellow, then in broad daylight, snow would be yellow. But generally it's not, all right? When the sun sets, its light is heavily attenuated by dust in the atmosphere, and in other places it could be pollution or pollen, but these particles in the air scatter blue light out of the sun into the rest of the sky, turning the sky blue, and the more blue light it takes out, the more yellow-red the sun looks. And that's why right on the horizon, the sun is its deepest yellow-red it will ever be. And people say, oh, there's our yellow star. No, the sun is white, okay? Ask any photographer, by the way. In fact, to a photographer, the sun is blue. Can I blow your mind again? As you know, cooking times have to be adjusted on mountaintops because when you boil water, it's not 212 degrees. Depending on the height of the mountain, there's less air pressing down that's preventing it from boiling. The boiling point is not some absolute fact about the water. It has to do with what the air pressure is sitting above it. If you have extremely high air pressure, water has to go to a much higher temperature before it boils. The boiling point of water that's reported in all textbooks is at sea level, at 1 atmospheric pressure. That's how you get 212 degrees. If you start reducing the atmospheric pressure, 205 degrees, 180 degrees.
180 degrees?
Oh, yes, and so that's not as hot as 212 degrees, so you gotta cook the food longer. All cooking times are increased. You keep reducing the air pressure. Boiling point keeps dropping. It's 170 degrees, 150, 50 degrees Fahrenheit, 40 degrees Fahrenheit, 32 degrees Fahrenheit. What happens? The ice melts and becomes water. The water evaporates and becomes steam, and all of that's happening at 32 degrees. There is an atmospheric pressure for which water, ice, and steam coexist, and it's called the triple point of water.
I want to talk a lot about like the chicken or the egg debate.
People are still debating that?
They are.
It's not a debate.
That's what I think too.
No, it's not a debate. It's very clear and simple. The egg came first. It was just laid by a bird that was not a chicken. Now, of course, that compresses hundreds of thousands of years of evolution.
Yes.
But philosophically, there is a bird that you perhaps would not call a chicken, proto-chicken, sure. And then there's a genetic alteration, which occurs in every generation, very tiny genetic variations. And the egg that comes out of it, you would say, that's not a proto-chicken, that's a chicken.
The next thing I say may be mind-blowing to you.
Okay.
Okay? The tide doesn't actually come in and out. What happens is there is a bulge of water, two of them, on opposite sides of the Earth, caused by the sun and the moon. And Earth turns inside that bulge. When we say the water rises and falls tidally, what's happening is we are rotating into the bulge and then out of the bulge.
So the bulge is already there.
It's already there.
And all we kind of do is pass through the
Pass
bulge.
through, and the water gets high and it gets low.
We launched a spacecraft 7 years ago from Earth, a moving platform, towards the asteroid Bennu, a moving target. We arrive there. It does a touch and go, grabbing material on that touch. It packs it into a capsule. That space probe continues, intersects Earth, deploys the capsule such that on the rotating Earth, it lands within a zone in the Utah desert. And that spacecraft continues on to another asteroid.
And that's what it is programmed to do. It's behaving as we intended for
It's
it.
called science. As a matter of fact, it is rocket science. But we did this. We pulled this off. Yet there are people walking among us saying, I don't believe science. I don't trust science. Do you see what it is we do? Do you have any understanding of what this takes? People say, I don't want to kill animals. I don't have a problem with that. They probably have a humane mousetrap in their basement. They don't want to snap the neck of the mouse. So they capture the mouse. You got to check on it every couple of days because they dry out real quick. So there it is, and they set it loose into the wild, where they have guaranteed it will be swallowed whole by an owl or picked apart by all manner of woodland predators. Average life expectancy of a mouse in the wild is 9 to 18 months. The best thing you can do with a mouse is leave it in your basement. It'll live up to 6 years there. That's how you protect the life. But that's not what they're doing. Meanwhile, the house is made of wood from 50 trees. Each tree every day produces 15 times the mass of the mouse in oxygen. And a tree is home to birds and insects and fungus and squirrels. Who do you think nature cares more about? Your mouse or the tree? And you'll say, well, the mouse has a beating heart. Tree doesn't. Maybe the tree doesn't need a beating heart. That's your criterion for what's important? If you cut a tree, does it not bleed? Oh, but you're gonna cut them all down, build your house, and save a 1 ounce chubby mouse. Any animal that we have ever got to study in more detail than we previously did has shown to be more intelligent than we ever gave it credit for being.
Yeah.
And you know who has the biggest brain to body weight ratio of any creature on Earth? Some species of ants. 15% of their body weight is their brain. And it's kind of obvious. Some of them, like the whole front section is their head. In retrospect, it's kind of obvious. And ants are very busy doing some complicated things and we don't know what they're doing.
Especially leafcutter ants.
They're busy, carpenter ants, leaf-cutting ants, and cross over into termite land. They're busy building stuff.
And they work in communication with each other
And they
somehow.
communicate. And to say, well, we're at the top, really?